If you guys love playing bullet and blitz games, if you guys love playing fast paced games, if you guys love playing intense matches, then you probably have heard about the Danish Gambit, which works insanely well in the bullet and blitz games. Danish Gambit start with the e4 and black respond with e5. You go with d4, the center game, they take this pawn, we have c3, they take another pawn, we develop our bishop, they take another pawn, we develop our another bishop, we have long range to attacker, a very great lead in development, and guys, we are hoping to make sure this king remains in the center, and in the later phases we aim to go for a lightning fast and quick checkmates. So guys, this is a Danish Gambit in which you rely on your active development, you rely on your active play. But what if I tell you that only one move from black can actually curb down all of your advantage? That one move from black can actually crush all of your hopes. Yes, that one move is that much great. And it's actually bishop b4 check on the king. You defend this check with the knight. They develop another knight, and guess what? Black is ready to go for a castle on just next move. You simply go and develop your own knight. They go for a castle. Guess what? The engine rating is minus 0.8. You play Danish Gambit to get an early lead in development and also to make sure the king remains in the center so that you can get a lightning fast checkmate. But what the hell has happened? King simply went away. This is a rock solid structure which is not easy to break. And guess what? Your engine rating is minus 0.8. So guys, don't worry, because this is me Shubham Kumar, your host, and today I'm going to show you how to play Danish Gambit more effectively, how to play Danish Gambit more aggressively, and how to play Danish Gambit more correctly. I mean, after e4 and e5, some player love to play d4, the center game, then they simply just sacrifice their pawns one by one to go into a Danish Gambit setup. But d4 is a good move, but d4 is not the only move that you have to play to get the Danish Gambit structure, because the second move which I am going to recommend is knight f3. And in this video, guys, we are going to discuss knight f3 maneuver only, that how can you achieve a Danish Gambit structure by playing knight f3 on the second move. And so guys, this is me Shubham Kumar, your host. You are watching Mr. Citadel Chess, and today I am going to show you Danish Gambit version number 2, which is actually one of the very aggressive systems, more aggressive than previously an old traditional Danish Gambit, and you're going to love it. So guys, let's start this video. Now in this particular position, if you look at a database, the most played move is knight f6 and the second numbered most played move is d6. So we are going with d6 because the moment knight c6 occurs, you have bishop c4. This is bishop c4, bishop b5, Ruy Lopez, bishop b4, Italian system, one of the very great opening. You have Ponziani, so you have actually multiple options. But if they go with d6, you still play bishop c4. There is one of the options, but I will recommend you, I mean, if you're going with the Danish Gambit structure, you have to go with d4. Now, why d4? I will tell you why. We have pawn takes pawn. You simply offer another pawn, the typical Danish Gambit structure, pawn takes pawn. We have bishop c4, just main structure. At this point of time, most of the players will become cautious. Like, they will think that why are you just sacrificing your pawns one by one? So they might don't take another pawn. Instead, they develop their pawn s6 to stop the knight g5. Instead, they develop their knight f6. Instead, they go with bishop e6, going for a trade. So, and also, some people may take pawn with the pawn. So, these are the four moves that we are going to discuss. So, let's discuss the first move. We have pawn takes pawn. You simply just recapture this pawn with the bishop. You have two active bishop here. And at this point of time, remember, this is the position that we previously saw, and the change is d6. Now, this dark square bishop can't jump at the b4 square to give a check, and now the king can't easily escape from there because of the d6 maneuver, and that's why this position is actually very aggressive. Now, this point of time, your opponent can play knight f6. Your opponent can play bishop g4, pinning this knight to the queen. We are going to look at both the scenarios. Let's say black played knight f6. You have to go with knight g5, going for this fly lever attack, which works insanely well in the bullet and blitz matches. We have bishop e6 going for a trade. Just take it. Pawn take bishop. We have queen b3 going for this attack and this attack. One of the very great advantage of Danish Gambit, that you don't need to go with c3 because the queen can actually jump at the b3 anytime because you have a very great lead in development. Now, queen has to defend both of these squares. So what do you think queen is going to do? Yes, queen c8, defending this pawn, defending this pawn. Now, why take this pawn with a knight? That's fine. You have knight c6, development move. We simply go with a castle. We have knight a5 hitting on this queen. We have queen check, pawn blocks. We have queen f5. That's fine. If bishop e7, then we simply just take this pawn. That's not an option, right? So knight comes at the g4 hitting on the bishop. We just take this knight. Pawn takes. You just take it with the queen hitting on this rook. Rook moves away. And now we develop our knight at c3. That's fine. And guess what? There are not that many good moves that black can play. So if we ask our engine, we have engine saying that we should go with queen d7. Just go for this fork. Queen takes, we have this check, queen block, just grab this rook. And you have 2-point advantage. Remember, you sacrifice your 2 pieces. So technically you have 4-point advantage, right? And engine rating is plus 3.0. So you can simply win this game. Now, instead of knight f6, if your opponent play bishop g4, then guys, you have to remember the great grandmaster Mikhail Tal. Now, Mikhail Tal used to say that whenever your opponent uses bishop to pin your knight to your queen, you have to make sure that bishop is not defended by anyone. I mean, queen d7 should not be present, pawn to this f5 should not be present, h5 should not be present, knight f5 or f6 or knight s6 should not be present to defend his bishop. In this particular position, bishop is not defended by anyone. So yes, we can simply go for a tactical sacrifice, and that's bishop sacrifice. Bishop takes pawn, king takes, and we have knight e5 check on the king. If pawn takes, that's fine. We have queen takes queen, and you can still win this game. There is no bishop b4 check on the king, and still there is a knight. Yes, so your queen is actually very safe. Now, apart from pawn takes pawn at b2, some player might play h6 maneuver, and guys, at this point of time you have to remember Italian game Scotch variation, because in this particular position we are going to use one of the tactics which we have discussed. Okay, we haven't discussed this, right? But don't worry, I will make video on that too. But at this particular position you have to go with bishop sacrifice. King takes, then we have knight e5 check on the king. If pawn takes, queen takes queen is going to occur. So let's say king moves away. That's a blunder because we have this check, king moves away, and guess what? That just checkmate. So guys, this is actually very amazing game, and it's really fabulous that how fast you can go for a checkmate in this situation. Now let's say king moves at this e6, then you have this check, king if moves up, checkmate. So king has to go with the f6. You still go for a check. Let's say king take this knight, you have bishop check, king moves away, and guess what? This is just checkmate. Let's say if king take this pawn, you have knight check. Let's say guys, king moves away, you have this castle, a classy, again checkmate. That's fine with you, right? Let's just discuss another other moves too. Let's say king moves away at this e7, then we have this fork here. Rook is just lost forever. So guys, these were all the moves that you can try, and it's really very amazing that how fast black is going to decline. Now, apart from pawn takes pawn at b2, apart from f6, we have knight f6, one of this most played move here. I mean, it's actually the second numbered move, most played move. So after bishop e6, the second numbered most played move is knight f6 only. The moment knight f6 occur, you have to go with the e5. Most probably, your opponent is going to take this pawn. Then you don't have to capture queen with the queen and then aiming to win this pawn, because guys, winning this pawn is just too passive for you. I mean, I want you guys to win the game, whole game. So that's why you have to just sacrifice your bishop. If king takes, queen takes queen is just prominent. So we have king e7. Then we have queen b3 defending this bishop. Let's say they develop his knight, and we just take this pawn with the pawn because we need our bishop's diagonal to be open. That's fine. We have knight f5 hitting on this queen. We have bishop a3 check on this king. King moves away, and guess what? We have queen e6, the checkmate. So that's fabulous. And now guys, we are in the last leg of this video where we are going to discuss bishop e6 offering a trade. You just take it. Yes, you should take it. We have pawn takes bishop. We have queen b3 hitting on this pawn, hitting on this pawn, and hitting on this pawn, and that's critically very great. We have queen c8 defending this pawn, but that doesn't matter because we have knight g5 hitting on this pawn twice. So king has to defend it by king e7. Then we have knight c3 defending this pawn at the e4. That's fine. We have h6 hitting on this knight. So knight takes this pawn, queen takes. We have queen take this pawn at b7. Hitting on this rook. This rook is lost forever. And congratulations, you have actually 3-point lead. After you just take this rook, you will get 5 points, and you're actually behind by 2 points. So that's okay. That's fine. That's a mathematic. I guess girls are not going to understand. But guys, you have 3-point lead. Believe me. This pawn is defended by two. Queen is defending this pawn. Knight is defending this pawn. So that's fine. This position is actually very great. If we talk about the engine gives, oh my god, engine is giving us plus 4.6 rating, which is okay. It's increasing to plus 5.4, 5.3. Of course, it's not that much bad, right? You can simply win this game in this scenario in no time. So guys, this was the Danish Gambit version number 2. I hope you have liked it. If you love playing bullet and blitz matches, do try this gambit in your matches, and also let me know in the comments that how it went. So guys, thanks for watching. This is Mr. Mukma, your host, and you are watching Mr. Citadel Chess. If you like this video, do hit the like button, share this video, and also subscribe the channel because my channel is new, but it has a lot of potential. Yeah, right. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comments. If you want a video on any specific topic, still let me know in the comments, and we will meet in the next video. Till then, take care.